হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ স্টার্ট হয়েছে লাইভ।
স্টার্ট করব
করে দাও
Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank first of all our college authority for giving me such permission to organize a national level webinar in this pandemic situation. I also welcome our distinguished guest, our faculty member, and all the participants from different corners of the states and other states also. All welcome and a very good morning once again. It is both an honor today and a privilege to stand before you today and welcome all this learned community. As we all aware that one of the first biological needs is food. Without food, we cannot survive. So that at first we will start our webinar. Today's webinar as an expert. Is Assistant Professor in Food Technology, University of Mizoram, Aizawl, Mizoram. Mr. Roy was completed in completed BTech in Agricultural Engineering from Bidhan Chandra Krishi Vishwavidyalaya, Kalyani, West Bengal, and MTech in Food Engineering, Food Processing Engineering from IIT Kharagpur, West Bengal, and also pursued PhD in Food Processing Engineering from IIT Kharagpur in Agricultural Process Engineering. His area in interest for research food processing for new product development, post-harvest technology of agricultural product, and many more. I handed over the mic to our respected sir, Mr. Warnob Roy. Please, sir, start your lecture. Mr. Warnob Roy.
হ্যালো
Mr. Warnob Roy, please unmute your mic and start your lecture.
হ্যালো
Oh, sorry, sir. First of all, sorry.
according to schedule this is the time for principal sir for invitation.
Oh, sorry. Little
Okay,
mistake.
no problem.
Little mistake. I welcome sir to deliver her welcome speech. Mr. Dr. Sukdev Ghosh, our principal sir, please deliver his welcome speech. Sir, please start.
সাজিদুল,
Yes sir.
হ্যাঁ শোনা যাচ্ছে?
হ্যাঁ স্যার
শোনা যাচ্ছে?
একদম স্যার।
আচ্ছা, শুরু করি।
করুন।
গুড মর্নিং অল। শুরু করি। হ্যালো।
হ্যাঁ স্যার করুন।
হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে। Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I sincerely hope you are well in this pandemic situation. I am extremely honored to have the chance to welcome all of you in this one-day national level webinar on challenges of health, fitness and wellness during COVID-19 era, organized by Department of Physical Education, Srikrishna College, Bagula, Nadia. On behalf of our institutions, firstly, I would like to welcome Professor Dr. Madhav Chandra Ghosh, Department of Physical Education, University of Kalyani, Professor Ghosh, also Dean, Student Welfare, University of Kolkata. I convey my humble gratitude, sir. Professor Ghosh is one of the speaker today's session. Next, I would like to welcome and heartily congratulations our another speaker, Dr. Arnob Rai, Assistant Professor, Department of Food Technology, Mizoram University. It is also my pleasure to welcome our third and last speaker, Dr. Saugata Sarkar, ADPE and Secretary, Sports Board, Mizoram University, Mizoram. Next is the list to welcome is the backbone of this webinar, the most beloved and respected participants, teacher, research scholar, students. I proudly welcome all of you. At least, but no means least, it is a special pleasure to welcome in my modest words all my colleagues who are part and parcel of our institution. Special thanks to Dr. Imran Hossain, Professor Ashok Banerjee, and all faculty members of physical education. Also special thanks to Dr. Fazizul Islam, who has constantly extended support to all the high prospects of this program. All we know as coronavirus pandemic rapidly sweeps across the world. It is inducing a considerable degree of fear, anxiety, and panic. Concern in the population at large, at among certain groups of particulars, such as older adults, care providers, and pupils with underlying health condition. Now look, the latest scenario of the coronavirus. In India, affected 15,32,135, death 34,224. In West Bengal, affected 62,964, death 1,449. In the world, affected 1 crore 68 lakhs 93,532, death 6 lakhs 63,476. People of any age with the following conditions are at increased risk of severe illness from COVID-19, like cancer, chronic kidney disease, obesity, serious heart condition, type 2 diabetes, asthma, high blood pressure, liver disease, pregnancy, etc. But how reduce the risks of getting COVID-19? Number one, strict lockdown. Lockdown means to prevent the spread of infection from one man to another, to protect ourselves and others. Number two, stay home quarantine. Number three, limit interaction with other people. Number four, maintain social distance. Number five, avoid other who are not use cloth face covering. Number five, regularly hand wash. Number 6, use single-use hand towel or paper towels, etc. Staying at home can be quite nice for some day, but can also be boring and restricting. In public mental health terms, the main psychological impact to date is elevated rates of stress or anxiety. Budget new measures and impacts are introduced, especially quarantine and its effects on many people, usual activities, routines, and livelihoods. Level of loneliness, depression, harmful alcohol and drug use, and self-harm or suicidal behavior also expected to rise. But now, how anticipate that situation? Here are some ways to keep positive and cheerful. Number 1, be busy, have a regular schedule, help in doing some of the work home. Number 2, distract yourself from negative emotions by listening to music, reading, watching entertaining program on television, or hobbies like painting, gardening, etc. to go back to them. Rediscover your hobbies. Number 3, eat healthy food and drink plenty of fluids. Number 4, be physical active. Do simple indoor exercise like free hand exercise, yoga, skipping, meditation, etc. That will keep you fit and feeling fit. Sharing is caring. Understand if someone around you needs advice, food, or other essentials, be willing to share. Number 6, take care of elderly people, child and pregnant women. If you have children at home, keep them busy by allowing them to help in the household chores. If you're feeling sad, then you connect to your close friends over phone and discuss happy events, common interest, share music, etc. If a person may feel helpless, hopeless, and feel that life is not worth living, if that happens, call your doctor professional. Remember, good mental status in the difficult times may win you battle more easily. Should be avoid focus on facts, rejects rumors and theories. Do not allow sensational news or social media posts which may impact your mental state. Do not believe and spread or share unverified news or information further. Avoid tobacco, alcohol, and any others. Anyway, before conclusion, again, I would like to convey my heartfelt regards to all of you. I hope for and earnestly request your wholehearted cooperation throughout the program to ensure in grand success. Thank you. Enjoy the day.
Thank you, sir, uh, for your valuable welcome speech. Uh, you sir also mentioned how to stay in home and how to maintain your health. Thank you, sir. Our next session for webinar discussion on defined topics. As we know, as we all are that one of the first biological needs in food, without which we cannot survive. So at first we will start our today's webinar with the expert, Dr. Mr. Arnav Roy, in the area of nutrition. His topic is necessary of diet plan during COVID-19. So I handed over the mic to Mr. Arnav Roy. Please proceed, Mr. Arnav Roy.
First of all, I would like to thank the organizing committee and Srikrishna College for giving me this opportunity. So, first thing we should know that this outbreak of COVID-19 is in the whole world. I should say in the whole world. It's now very scary or some panicking situation is going on. So, we need to maintain many things for living a healthy life or cope up with the spreading of or outbreak of COVID-19. So the thing food is as something necessary we need for our daily life to stay alive, to get energy. So this food is very important to maintain our immunity system and our nutrition. So why it is necessary and what should be our dietary plan for during this COVID-19 outbreak, I will share with you. Hope my presentation will help you with different aspects regarding food and coronavirus. Let me share the screen. Okay. Is it visible, the full screen? Hello? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Onubrai. It is visible.
Okay, am I audible also, right?
Okay.
Okay. So myself, Arnav Roy, I'm assistant professor in Department of Food Technology, Mizoram University. So today's my seminar on the topic of necessary diet plan during COVID-19. So first of all, we must know what is WHO. We all know this World Health Organization. What is its recommended nutrition advice during this COVID-19 outbreak? So we need always to live a healthy life. We need proper nutrition and proper hydration, meaning consumption of enough water or ample amount of water for our well-being. So the people who actually follows this well-balanced diet, proper hydration, they always live a healthier life or having stronger immune system. So what we should eat, we always should eat variety of fresh or unprocessed food possibly. But nowadays we know this sometimes the closing of market, this unavailability of fresh foods and fruits, vegetables, other even water also it's scarcely available. So we have to depend on some processed food or canned food or even say frozen food like this. So we should also always depend on this food items. So our food items we all know depends on micronutrients and macronutrients, right? So even if we eat these nutrients, I will come details in later. We must avoid some intake of salt, sugar, or limit our fat intake and limit our alcohol consumption. So this kind of things can give us heart disease, overweight, obesity, this kind of disease. So to avoid or eliminate this disease, not only for COVID-19 situation, still we should follow these things through our life. So our nutrition goals depends mainly on three aspects, right? So what are those three aspects? What should we eat? First of all, what we should eat, how much to eat, and when to eat. So these three things, if we accomplish, we can easily accomplish our nutrition goals. So if we consider a healthy eating idea, so I already told that to live a healthier life or good immune system, we need a healthy eating idea. What this includes, we should increase our complex carbohydrate, also which contains high amount of dietary fiber. We should decrease our dietary fat. We should have adequate protein intake, because protein helps us, helps in our building muscles, our body, and also helps us building antibodies, which actually helps to fight against these diseases. Then we should decrease or eliminate alcohol, decrease salt, sugar intake, and always increase our water intake, right? So as I already told, what is a well balanced diet? Well balanced diet consists of two things: macronutrients and micronutrients. These macronutrients are basically carbohydrate, protein, fat. This is basic, we all know. Then micronutrients are vitamins and minerals, which we can find inside these macronutrients, right? So with different sources and their nutritional benefits, we all know these things: carbohydrate, protein, fat. Carbohydrate gives us energy, and this is also source of vitamins, minerals. And this protein helps us this building muscles and produce antibodies. And fat also is a major source of energy and few vitamins. This A, D, E, K vitamins, it is not water soluble, it is only fat soluble. So the sources of these four vitamins we can get from fat. So we should consume fat, but in a limited portion or limited amount. But we should always replace saturated fat by unsaturated fats. Okay. And in a healthy plate, I already told you should be the what should be the macronutrient portions. That is, 1/4 of our plate, or 1/4 portion of our plate should be protein, and 3/4 of our plate should be carbohydrate. This carbohydrate may include fresh fruits, vegetables, then fibers, whole grains, even root crops, like this. Okay. Then this micronutrients, I already told, vitamins and minerals. This helps us support growth, this repair tissues, helps in metabolism, then helps us fight diseases. Mostly these vitamins, different vitamins have different roles. So these micronutrients we get from different foods like milk, then green vegetables, fruits, fish. Mostly this sea fish, this salmon, tuna, mackerel, these foods contains this omega-3 fatty acids. These fatty acids we can also get from fats, but the source of this fat from better sources is always recommended, right? So what should be our diet and nutrition strategies to stay healthy, right? In this, during this COVID-19, we are staying mostly at home for either self quarantine or in a family quarantine in a family. So during this self isolation or quarantine situation, we should follow some healthy living strategies, right? As I already told, well balanced diet, proper hydration, then other also this physical activity, enough sleep. So this kind of things is always recommended. So among this strategy, first thing what we should do, we should always make a plan before buying food. Whenever there is announcement, suppose this government is going to put lockdown, complete lockdown or partial lockdown, or they're announcing this market will be closed. So this kind of news comes, what we do, we go for panic buying. Suppose everything will be closed, let's buy a lot of things. So this is not necessary. You should always assess what we already have in your kitchen or in your store, what you already have. First assess those things, then you plan what I need to buy. So how it helps, it will give you, it will help you to not to overbuying or overeating foods, right? If we buy in ample amount or what amount we are necessary, it will also leave some foods for others also. We have seen in newses and things that people are fighting with each other, right, to get something. So if we consider ourselves for the amount we require, there will be enough food for others also. So we must do these things. It will also helps in reducing food wastage, right? Suppose we bought a lot of things and it gets spoiled, we just throw it out. So this is food wastage. So we can also limit that food wastage, right? So always make a plan before buying food. Then plan strategies and about use of food ingredients. What are the food ingredients? First, we should use the fresh fruits and vegetables, right? For cooking or eating, first of all, we should go for fresh ingredients. If fresh ingredients is not available, then we can go for frozen fruits and vegetables. Then because these frozen fruits and vegetables, the shelf life is longer, it can stay for a long time, it doesn't spoil. and because sometimes for closing of these markets, these fresh things are also not available. So we can opt for this frozen food. And this, even if the frozen food are also there, canned foods and fruit, vegetables, fish, many things can be is available. So always this plan these strategies about use of food ingredients, what type of food or what type of ingredient we are going to use for eating or cooking, right? Then after we get these food items, what we should do, we should eat a balanced and varied diet, right? So what is the benefit of balanced diet? I told you there. And one important thing is, there is no just food, there is no evidence that any food will boost our immune system against or treating this COVID-19. Till date, there is no evidence. Though there are very foods like mostly are micronutrients, vitamins and minerals, it helps the running of our normal immune system. But it will fight against COVID-19. There is no such food, or there is no such evidence of there is any food or supplement it has. So what we can eat a balanced diet, right? Balanced diet includes, I already told, give an example, this fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, animal proteins, healthy fats, and lot of water, right? And also during this self isolation and quarantine, we become less active. We previously used to go to offices, schools, colleges. We are being active on, we are going on the road, work, train buses. So now we are very less active. So according to that activity, we must take intake our energy. If we take a lot of energy, a lot of food, and we are not active, physically active, it will give us weight gaining or obesity kind of things for long term process. So always eat a well balanced. We have to maintain our activity with the food we take. Then establish a routine with practice and mindful eating. See, it is always best to make a routine for your eating pattern, right? Suppose this time I'm going to eat breakfast, this time I'm going to eat lunch. And for that, if we make a routine, it will also help us reducing overeating. If we don't, suppose we are not maintaining time, suppose if there is a long gap, we're feeling so much hungry, so there is a tendency of eating, so overeating. Suppose whatever we need, we eat more than that. So okay, because in during this time we feel as already Dr. Sukhdev Ghosh sir already told, that we feel anxious, sadness, and we feel stress in our life, because suppose what will happen, what we don't know, it may increase, we may get affected, like this kind of stress or anxiety we feel. So this stress also is a main cause of overeating. So we always make a routine. We should always make ourselves make a routine for ourselves for our eating pattern, right? And this eating pattern or mindful eating also gives us a healthy life or a healthy body, you can say. So for that, there are many tips you can follow for this mindful eating. What are those? You can say, don't eat on the go. Suppose we're traveling, we're going somewhere, suppose many offices are open, we have to go some or go offices and some places, or even if we're visiting some friends. So sometimes we eat while traveling, while going, suppose we are going by cycle or car or bike, sometimes we eat. So this is very difficult to maintain how much we are eating. So it is always recommended, do not eat on the go. Whenever you are eating, you sit on a place, sit on a table or at a seat, then eat. Okay, then resist eating from the box or bag, right? Suppose there is a packet of food, we don't know how much exactly inside the packet. So if we're eating directly from the package or from the box or the bag, we don't realize how much we are eating. It is also give us, we give this it is not appropriate amount we'll be eating. So we can eat less, we can eat more. So always take the food out of the box on a plate, then eat. Then remove distractions. Now we have a very bad tendency, all of us, most of us have very bad tendency to watch watch TV or use mobile or our laptop or tablet during eating. So this is a very great distraction. So we should always, whenever we are eating, we should switch off this kind of things, switch off TV, phones. We should eat, focusing on the food, right? Then take small bites and chew well. Exactly. So suppose we are eating, suppose we are whenever we are stress eating, we eat lot. So that's the thing, whenever we are eating, you should always take a small bite and then try to put your utensil down for after each bite. Suppose we are eating with a spoon, it is if the spoon in our hand, we try to eat again and again very fast. So take one bite and leave the spoon on the table. So it will give you a reminder, okay, this is my next spoon, this is my next spoon. So this is how you can actually maintain how much you are eating, and the eating process will be slow. It will help to digest your food. So okay, and also help to maintain the amount. Then don't try to finish the whole plate. Okay, this is a good thing that we always try to finish the whole plate so that food doesn't get waste. So suppose we take more than that what amount we can eat, so what we try to do, we try to finish the plate. So don't do that. What we should do, we do, other than throwing that out, we can keep it or keep it in the fridge or freeze it for, we can have it later, right? So just because we take a lot of things on my plate, I cannot eat, I have to I have to do overeating, it shouldn't do. So try to keep it in the fridge and have it later. And similarly, be aware of the portion size. Suppose the portion we are taking, I already told you this 1/4 and 3/4 portion. So this portion, if you maintain, it will always be healthy. And for this is for good for adults and young children also. For as we know this, young children have need smaller portion, adults is more. So these things we have to maintain. So I already told you this routine strategy. If you make a routine for this mindful eating, it is always helpful. Then what should we eat? I already told you we should eat fresh and unprocessed food every day. But as I told that sometimes this fresh, because of closing of markets, fresh foods sometimes it's not available. So we have to depend on other. If this fresh food is available, so we should always opt for this. So what should we eat? We should eat. There is a list. See, daily 2 cup of fruits, 2.5 cups of vegetables, 180 grams of grains. Like you can, in terms of grain, you can eat rice. We are mostly rice eating people in India. Rice is our most staple food. So about rice, then 160 grams of meat and beans. See, meat is a very good thing for source of protein, but we should take white meat, basically poultry or fish, you can say. Red meat you can take, but not more than 1 2 times per day, because red meat mostly have the fat contents of red meat is high. So to limit our fat intake, we should concentrate not to have much red meat, right? Then for snacks, you can choose raw vegetables and fruits like this. Then one more important thing: do not overcook things. Suppose if we overcook this, what is it? This new many beneficial vitamins or minerals, they get destroyed due to heat, right? So proper cooking is always necessary. Then, as I told you, that if the fresh fruits and vegetables is not available, you can use canned or dried vegetables without, but it should maintain that it should be without added salt or sugar, right? Then another thing is, more important thing is, drink enough water every day. Water is very essential for our life. We need water every day, and right amount of water is always necessary for our immune system, right? For suppose this is for cleansing blood and get rid of other wastes through our urination. So and also to maintain our body temperature. So water is always necessary. So how much water we should drink, it depends on our age, sex, weight, height, level of physical activities we are doing, right? So what are the sources of water? There are different sources. Directly we can drink water, and we can have water from different fruits and vegetables also contain waters, and some beverages, tea, coffee, everything contains water. So this is also add up to our water intake, but we should always be careful about the other than water things, right? Suppose we are drinking any beverage, it contains sugar. So suppose we are drinking a lemon juice, we always add sugar. So try to avoid this, right? Try to minimize your salt and sugar intake, and try to also minimize this caffeine intake in terms of tea and coffee, right? Because it's basically, finally it will initially give you water intake, but it will lead to dehydration. Basically it will lead to dehydration, and it will negatively impact your sleeping patterns, because we know caffeine and tea and coffee, if you drink at night before bedtime, it will give us negative impact on our sleeping patterns, right? Then practice safe food hygiene. Now we know what we should eat, what we should drink, but that should be, food hygiene should be safe, right? So how we can maintain this food hygiene? There is few points: that wash your hands 20 seconds before and after preparing or eating food, right? Cover your mouth and nose with tissue and sleeves if you cough or sneeze. Always wash your fruits and vegetables before eating them. Either with, if you are cooking, it is okay, but if you are eating raw fruits and vegetables, we should always must be clean it properly or disinfect. Suppose disinfect surfaces. Suppose we are cooking on a pot or eating on a plate. We should always disinfect or clean those objects, right? Keep raw and cooked food separate. Suppose cooked food already due to application of heat, many microbes they get destroyed, right? But raw food, sometimes this raw food can contain these microbes. So if we keep them together, there is a possibility of cross contamination from raw food to cooked food. So we should keep them separate. So these are few points by which we can maintain or practice this safe food hygiene. Then prepare home cooked meals. During this COVID-19 situation, the main thing is, problem is person to person it is spreading, right? So social distancing. Social distancing it is only possible when you're staying at home. Suppose you are going eating out in a restaurant, there will be gathering, there will be a lot of people, there will be contact, and the food they are preparing, I already told in the last slide, practice food hygiene, proper food hygiene. The food they are cooking, they may not have proper food hygiene they are maintained. There may not be properly disinfected surface or disinfected or clean plates, clean pots they are cooking, they are serving, the serving tables. This may not be good, or may not be, that may be infected. So try to avoid eating outside. It is best to eat food, home cooked meals. So it also gives opportunity for this family bonding. It also helps the children to learn some cooking. So they can, whenever they go to adulthood, they can carry this forward. So the children also learn this food safety or food hygiene from parents or elders, right? So it is always better to have home cooked meals. Then, as I already told you, the important thing is eat less sugar and salt, right? What is WHO recommendation of salt intake? It's less than 5 grams of salt per day, means only 1 tablespoon. In whole day, whatever food you are eating, whatever drinks you are drinking, whatever you take, this total salt content should not be more than 1 tablespoon, right? So to achieve this, we always prioritize our food list. What food should we eating, how much salt we are adding to during our cooking. Or suppose we are if we are buying any canned food, we are having any canned food or frozen food, we should see that it should not have added salt and sugars. Okay, so for this taste, suppose we know, so adding salt gives taste in the food, right? But to maintain this taste, you can use these different spices or herbs, right? So they can give added flavors instead of using salt. Similarly, what is the sugar intake recommendation? WHO, this World Health Organization, recommends that we should take less than 5% of total energy intake. We are eating any food, any carbohydrate or protein or fat, we get some energy. So basically sugar is a type of carbohydrate, right? So this raw sugar or this sugar intake should be less than 5% of total energy intake we are having, right? So these frozen fruits, canned fruits, vegetable juices, they contain sugar. So try to buy things which have less sugar or no added sugar, right? Suppose also limit your amount of sugar and honey. Suppose we are making any beverage, we are making any lemon juice, we try to add some salt, some sugar into that lemon juice in home. Suppose we are eating, okay, so try to avoid. If we cannot avoid, try to very limit or use very less amount of salt and sugar, right? Then eat moderate amount of fat and oil. I already told you about fat. We should always try to eat or take good fats. There are two types of fat: good fat and bad fat. Good fat are basically unsaturated fats, right? Saturated fats are very difficult to digest. They are mainly stored in our body, that they're very difficult to remove, right? So if we replace the saturated fat with unsaturated fat, it will be easier to digest and helps us maintain to get energy. To get energy means what the energy we need from this fat, but also doesn't have any negative effect. So whenever possible, we should opt for any low fat food like meat, fish. But I already told you, not red meat. Try to have white meat like poultry or fish. Maybe it should be sea fish, possibly. Then if you are taking any dairy products like milk and other dairy products, that should be low fat. Suppose you are drinking or buying milk, it should be doubled. It's always preferred to take dry double tone milk. Sorry, double tone milk have less fat because this fat is removed. That's why it's called double toned. Okay, then what is WHO recommendation of our fat intake? So WHO recommends the total energy intake we take every day. The fat intake should not be more than 30%. It should be less than 30% of our total energy intake. Like sugar, I already explained what is total energy intake, where it having carbohydrate, protein, fat. So among this total energy intake, the fat intake should be less than 30%. Okay, then consume enough fiber. So what is the use of fiber? Fiber helps us easily digest food. It is easily digested, so it helps us having a healthy digestive system, right? And this it actually these fibers, this digest very slowly. So for a long time we don't feel hungry, we feel full. So it gives us having the proper amount, or we should not go for overeating. It helps us preventing overeating, right? So this, what is the sources of different fibers, is includes this fresh fruits and vegetables, pulses, whole grains, this root crops, mostly this taro, yam, and this what should I say, cassavas. This kind of foods is also have good amount of dietary fiber, right? Then avoid or eliminate alcohol consumption. I already told you this. What is alcohol? Alcohol is basically our mind altering. It alters our senses. It acts on nervous system, and is actually stimulate those. So it is very harmful whenever we are staying alone or in self quarantine or isolation. It is very harmful. Suppose we can harm ourselves if we consume too much alcohol. It also weakens our immune system. So we know to fight against this COVID-19 or this any, not only COVID-19 virus, any other diseases, we must keep your immune system healthy, right? So consumption of alcohol actually weakens this immune system, right? And there is very big misconception floating news in WhatsApp and Facebook. We have very misconception we have that alcohol can cure. There is, under no circumstances, there is no evidence that consumption of alcohol can treat or helps you fight with COVID-19. There is no evidence. This is not right. This is a very big misconception, right? So this consumption of alcohol, I already told you, it will have effect negatively, not positively. Rather, it will weaken our immune system, right? And it is not necessary for our diet or our daily nutrition. So we should always try to remove, or we should always need to eliminate alcohol or avoid alcohol consumption, right? Okay, so other than food items, other than having food means diet and nutrition, there are few things like I already will do. Staying active. My later speakers will also give you more details on these things, like staying active. How can you can physically active, like dancing, playing, if permitted you can walk or clean house, gardening, this kind of things. Then other than physical activity, another important thing is getting enough quality sleep, because sleeps helps us boost, not only boost, to maintain our proper immune system, or it helps us fight against diseases, any kind of disease, not only COVID-19. So this sleeping also gives us this stress relieving things. As I already told you, this panic situation or uncertainty gives us many mental illness like anxiety, stresses. So sleeping helps us eliminate these things. Then we should always go for counseling and psychosocial support. Suppose someone comes positive, he can be very scared, he or she can be very scared, or he can get anxiety. So for this counseling we always need. and always you try to get information from credible sources, right? There are many sources, they're sharing fake news, fake things. So always we should rely on credible sources like government websites and international organizations, as I already told you, World Health Organizations. Okay, then other than now we know what things and what should we do while we're self quarantine or isolation, but we need to know what is the best food for us to buy. Suppose we are staying in isolation or quarantine, because we should choose some food that should have long shelf life, right? Because suppose we are quarantined, so we do not have contact with outside world or market, we cannot go to market. So we should eat, or we should bring, or should buy some foods which have long shelf life, and it is also cheap and affordable, right? So what are the foods? Long lasting fresh fruits and vegetables, right? As WHO recommends, we should consume minimum 400 grams of fruits and vegetables per day. So what kind of fruits you can choose? Citrus fruits like oranges, clementines, what we call in Bengali komla lebu, then grapefruits, this kind of citrus fruits, which is so much enriched with vitamin C, right? Other than that, banana, apple, this kind of things. Then root vegetables. I told you this carrots, turnips, cassavas, taros, yams, then this beets and vegetables like cabbage, broccoli. This is very nutritious, and this stays for long. This doesn't spoil very fast, right? Then this ginger, garlic, onions, these things are also last for long, right? These have very long shelf life. This can give you flavors and a taste in your food, right? Then frozen fruits and vegetables. As I told you, if this fresh fruits and vegetables is not available in the market is closed. So we have to rely on frozen fruits and vegetables. Why frozen fruits and vegetables? Because frozen things have almost similar nutrition profile like fresh fruits and vegetables, and it's also cheaper than the fresh fruits and vegetables. If you go on market, these frozen fruits, if you consider, it mostly easier to buy or cheaper than the fresh things, right? So if fresh things is not our first priority should be fresh. If fresh things are not available, then we go for frozen foods, right? Other than fruits and vegetables, we can also get frozen meats, frozen fish, and kind of things. Okay, then dried and canned pulses. As I told you, these pulses, they also stay long. So it can be dried. So reducing this moisture content or drying it gives is longer shelf life. If the amount of moisture in that food is more, it is easily to get rotten or easily get spoiled. So this dried pulses, fruits, nuts, seeds, it stays for long, and it will give you good nourishments or good nutritions. These are mostly nutritious, right? So you can consider buying this kind of foods while in quarantine. Then whole grains and starchy foods. What is the whole grains? Whole grains, rice, pasta, oats, buckwheats. This kind of whole grains you can buy. You can eat for your daily carbohydrate consumption, right? As I told you, 3/4 portion should be carbohydrate. So it also gives you starch. Good. It is good source of dietary fibers also. And other than these grains, there are starchy root plants like potatoes, sweet potatoes, cassavas, kind of things. So this kind of foods, this stays for long and gives you your carbohydrate need. Okay, then canned vegetables and fishes. I already told you, if this fresh is not available and fresh or frozen is not available, you can go for canned, because this canned vegetables, fishes, they stay for very long, like 6 months, 9 months they can stay. They can stay good. So you can open anytime the scans, and you can cook, or you can take directly if it is ready to eat. So before buying this, I already told you, remember one thing: there should not be any added salt or sugar. See, and this fish or meat, they mostly canned in brine water. So you, before buying, you always should check whether this is canned in water or brine water or oil. It is best to buy which is canned in water. right? Not in oil or brine, because this oil will give you this increase your fat consumption, this brine will give you or increase your salt consumption. So it is best to buy which is canned in water. Then reduced fat shelf stable milk. As I told you, this double tone milk which have the least, till in our market is have the least amount of fat or the lowest amount of fat. So if you buy milk, if you're buying pouches, try to buy double tone. And if you're buying this UHT milk, it is ultra heat treated, right? UHT milk or powdered milk, they stays for long. If you see, if you have seen milk, also they sell milk in cartons, right? These Tetra Pak cartons, this paper cartons, right? Paper boxes. So this milk actually stays for 6 months. The shelf life of this carton milk is basically 6 months. So think about it. If you buy once, you can use it for 6 months, right? So it is always better to opt for that rather than pouch milk. You go for this carton milk or UHT milk or even powdered milk you can have, because they have longer shelf life. Okay. Then you already know what kind of food you can buy. What before buying, what should you look into the food, right? But there are many facts and conceptions, misconceptions. This is roaming around, which in relation with food and coronavirus. Okay, so here we'll discuss about some facts related to food. Okay, so the question is, are there any foods that boost our immune system against COVID-19? The answer is no. There is no evidence, no convincing evidence that there is any food that can boost our immune system against particularly this virus. Different foods, these vitamins, minerals, they help maintain our immune system, right? But our immune system has a limitations, right? It have a particular, everybody have different immune system, different level of immune system that can fight against this disease. So what we can do, we can eat a proper balanced diet, well balanced diet with good vitamins and minerals, and we should eat fresh fruits and vegetables like this. So by eating this, what we can do, we can maintain the immune system. But there is no particular food that can fight directly against this COVID-19, right? Because if there is something, a particular food for every virus or every disease, we will be immortal, we'll never die, we'll just eat that food, okay, it will fight with that disease and we'll stay immortal. No, we can just maintain our immune system. Okay, similarly, are there any food supplement that boost our immune system against COVID-19? Similarly, as food, these food supplements, what we take food supplements, suppose there are few people who doesn't have cannot digest something, suppose many people who are lactose intolerant, so for them there are food supplements, right? So food supplements can only replace some food items for special requirements or special needs for nutrition. So there is no such food supplements which can fight against COVID-19 or prevent viral infections, right? So can you catch COVID-19 from eating food? Till date, in our country, there is no evidence by eating food we get COVID-19. But this virus can stay active or can be alive inside food system. So whatever we are eating, whenever we are eating, we should be concerned about the food hygiene. I already explained about the food hygiene, about the surface or the pot we are cooking, or the plate we are eating. So this is how we can minimize the risk, right? But you cannot say you cannot say that you will not catch from food. If the food surface is infected, you can get, right? But till that there is no evidence, or there is no such cases reported. So can you catch COVID-19 from touching food packagings? Yes, because this virus is spreading through contact with positive persons, right? Positive person, positive surface. So if someone is positive, or someone is positive with this virus, not only this virus, any infectious disease, if they are touching any food packets or touching any food rails or doors of a market, this is possible. So if you're touching that, it stays active on the surface for a few times or maybe few days, right? Say in food packaging for a day, on plastic for several days. So this remote infection or remote spreading of this virus can happen from food packaging. So if we're going to a market to buy some foods, we should touch one food that we are going to definitely buy. We have a tendency, suppose many of us go to supermarkets, malls, We just touch this. Okay, what is this? What is that? No, do not touch what everything. Touch only that packages what you want to buy. If you don't want to buy, don't touch it. Okay. So this, by doing this kind of things, you can minimize the risk, right? So first or foremost thing, you should avoid, right? Avoid going to this market, or you should always maintain social distancing while buying food. So touching packaging, food packaging can spread. Okay. So you have to be sure about this. You have to be cautious about this. So there are some tips you can do. I already told you this. Wash your hands for 20 seconds with soap before and after grocery shopping or any food shopping, maybe vegetable shopping, anything. Or you are unpacking some foods. Okay. Then always keep a safe distance from any other people who are also in for shopping in that same market or same shop. Okay. When don't go to shopping if you're sick. If you're already feeling sick, you don't go to market, so you can spread the sickness to others. So avoid touching foods. I already told you, see, avoid touching foods unless you are going to buy them. If you don't want to buy, you don't touch. Okay. Then avoid, most importantly, avoid touching your face, nose, mouth before washing your hands. Suppose you went to market to buy some things, you disinfect all the food items or packages, but you should always wash your hand or disinfect your hands before touching your faces. Okay. Then, can COVID-19 spread through drinking water? Okay, there is no evidences till date or no reported cases till date, but this virus can be active or remain active or can be alive for short period of time in water. It can stay alive in water. Okay, so we should always drink purified water. In mostly filter, you should use filtered water, or because if we go for bottled waters are very costly, right? So it is better to filter your water at your home. Those filter we should use which have filtration and disinfection, means we should have RO system is reverse osmosis system for filtration, and UV system for disinfection. So these two things should be there in a water filter. So it is better to drink filtered water at your home. Okay. Can you still breastfeed if you have COVID-19? The World Health Organization is saying yes, you can breastfeed a baby even if you are positive with COVID-19, right? But you have to maintain some precautions, because spreading of virus cannot happen through breastfeeding. It can happen by different means, but not breastfeeding or through breast milk is will not spread. What are the precautions you have to take? You have to always practice respiratory hygiene and wear a mask, right? You have to keep yourself safe. You have to keep the baby safe from yourself. Suppose you have positive, but you have to keep the baby safe. So always wear a mask so that this droplets, water droplets, or if you are coughing and sneezing, it should not transmit to the baby. And always wash your hands before and after touching the baby. Always routinely clean and disinfect surfaces you're using. Your body parts, you should always clean your and disinfect your body parts. Then if you're expressing breast milk through manual or electric pump, you should always wash your hands or wash the pump and bottle parts. Always cleansing this, disinfect the pumps before and after use. So these kind of precautions we can maintain. Okay, so these are the common facts of food markets, food packages, disinfections related to COVID-19. Okay, so do not believe on misconception. I already told you, always get information from credible sources, and you should try to eat fresh fruits and vegetables, eat healthier, well balanced diet, try to avoid eating outside, stay in home cooked meals, and always be cautious about the food hygiene. Okay, if you maintain this kind of things related to food, I hope this risk of spreading COVID-19 will be minimized, right? So what are the end notes? There's many countries, as I told, there are contained spread of COVID-19 virus. So we should maintain this self quarantine or self isolation from others. If you are already sick, you shouldn't go outside for shopping. You should tell anyone or your family members to drop your food at your home. Okay, so I already told you these things. So always for this, if you are in quarantine, you should limit your ingredients. Suppose we should avoid overeating or avoid wastage of food. Okay, and other than food, you should do remain physically active and get enough sleeps to remove stress and anxieties. Okay, so always eat right and stay safe. Thank you for your attention. If you have any queries, I can always, this is my email ID, you can note down. If you have any queries, you can mail me anytime. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you so much, Mr. Onobrai. Thank you for your for delivering the lecture. And presently, our convener, Mr. Dr. Imran Hossain, is not present over here. So I taking the responsibility to call the next speaker, our respected Professor Dr. Madhav Chandra Ghosh, sir. Sir, I request you to to deliver your speech. Sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Audible,
I'm
sir.
audible?
Yes, sir. You are
Okay,
audible.
thank you.
Okay.
Respected chairman, the principal of this college, Professor Sukhdev Ghosh, convener Dr. Imran Hossain, co-convener Dr. Saijul Islam and Ashok Banerjee, and my two co-speakers, Arnab Rai and Dr. Shaugat Sarkar. I convey my thanks to everybody. Particularly, I convey my thanks to the college authority for giving me an opportunity to speak such an webinar session. My topics today, skin share. I want to share the skin now. দেখা যাচ্ছে স্ক্রিনে it is
Yes, sir.
visible?
Sir. দেখা যাচ্ছে।
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Actually, last 3-4 months, we all are arrested in the home. Somewhat, all the colleges, all the universities, all the schools are closed. All the playgrounds and all the gardens, everything is closed today. So in such a situation, it's very tough to be well in the home itself. So most of us, those who are particularly young people, boys, girls, they are also arrested in their home. During this pandemic, we all are going through a very tough situation. We are living in those days where we are arrested in our home, and our daily life has become so much restricted. So in this situation, it is very difficult to be well without proper exercise, without proper routine, without proper thing. But we have to think how we will stay well. Particularly, wellness is a feelings. If we think about the wellness is a feelings. And if I think that I will be well, then only I can be well. If I ask someone, how are you? Immediately he will tell, I am okay. I am not so. But he don't know why he is not well, why he is not okay. So because If you think about the wellness, that I am well, then only you will be well. Particularly, it is more important. It is important to develop the feelings of wellness, and at the same time, you have to maintain a good fitness, and you have to maintain a good lifestyle to be well. Particularly, fitness is one of the important aspects for anybody to be well in this situation, because fitness is the only thing which you can live, believe your wellness. This is the ability to meet the demand of the environment or lifestyle, and you have some stored energy to utilize during the emergency. That means sometimes we think that I am doing all my works, I am doing many things, doing many hard working. After that, when I'm come into the home, someone told me that you have some my baby is somewhat, my baby is ill, you have please help me, and you have to go to the hospital or anywhere. You immediately told that I am unable, I have done many work to the whole the day, so I am unable to go to the hospital. But I am now, I'm very tired. But I hope this type of people is not for the fit for this society. That means they are not actually fit for this society. So when we think about the fitness, fitness is the, if you can do your daily living activity which you require, that may be any type of job. That may be for player, it is a play for those who are rickshaw puller, the if he can for rickshaw pulling, or the farmers for farming the lands. For each and everybody, you need fitness. So we think fitness in two ways. That means consider fitness in two ways. One is health related physical fitness, and one another is the performance related or skill related physical fitness. I have written all the components. Then in most of the people, the common people, those who are in at present in is arrested in the home, those who are in the home quarantine at present, they require very much cardiovascular fitness. That means that health related fitness, that he can stay well in their home. So you have to do some activity that your cardiovascular system can be good. That means you have to do some activity for a longer duration. That means you work in your home room, do some activity for a longer duration, that your heart, lung, the system can is good. And next, muscular strength. You have enough muscular strength that you can do it. You can do it through muscular work and muscular endurance. You must be, you have enough flexibility that you can do the work. You can bend, you can move, you can change your direction, etc. Beside all this, you must be, you have a body composition. You have to maintain your percentage of body fat for to be health related fit. So these are the components of fitness, health related fitness, and the components of performance related fitness are speed, agility, power, balance, reaction time, etc., etc. So these all are known to everybody, and this is a very common term, common to all. Means wellness. Wellness is the search of enhanced quality of life, personal growth, and potential through positive lifestyle, behavior, and attitude. It is simply being a good physical and mental health, as they both are related to each other. So if we take responsibility for our health and well-being, we can improve our health on daily basis. This wellness depends upon supports many factors. The factors are like this: nutrition, exercise routine, sleep hygiene, prevention care of injury and illness, medication routine, stress management, psychological or mental health, health living space, social relationship, recreation activity, safety precautions, spirituality, and personal health choice. These are the factors. So these are the factors. If we nourish all the factors, then we can be stay well. Among the factors, I don't. I need. I hope I need nothing explained regarding the nutrition because my previous speaker or nobody has already give a very good and very delighting speech regarding the nutrition, and you all have already heard it and you already know it. You have get enough information regarding nutrition, food and nutrition. So next, sleep hygiene. That means you have to make a routine for your sleeping. At least 6 to 8 hours sleeping is daily routine. It should be included in your daily routine, and you have to go bed in particular time. You have to go bed at a certain time, and you have to wake up in a fixed time. Many of us used to young, particularly young people, they are now it is their hobby and it is their fashion. They are used to go to bed in the late night, which hampers their sleeping, and they don't have any particular habit. So this sleeping, if you do not go proper sleep, your rest will not be, your recovery will not be completed, and you cannot, your health will not be good, and you every day you are lacking some sort of energy, etc., etc. So you must have a positive attitude to go for bed in a right time, and you have to maintain it in a consciously. Prevention and care of illness. You have to maintain a schedule and attending routine preventive care. That means avoiding injuries. Particularly this COVID situation, it is very difficult to get doctors. It is very difficult nowadays to go to get a hospital, and it is very difficult. We have given many, we have heard many incidents like that, that many patient cannot get chance in the hospital and nursing home. So in this particular time, you have to very cautious whether how you will be not injured at this time, and you have to take specific care about not to be ill. So you have take specific care about the illness. Sometimes we are getting injury during rough driving, rough doing, rough exercise, etc., etc. So you have to stop all these things, and you have to be very scared about that matter. Particularly, you have to go to take care, and when you will be minor, when minor illness will be there, and immediately you have to consult with the doctor. You have to consult with the phone, by phone, with the doctor or any specialist. Then only it will be. And in this period, you all are advised to keep at least first aid box in your home, that you can take the first aid at your home itself without going out, because to go out is itself a risk for everybody, for everyone. particular this pandemic situation. So you have to, if you want, if you have to take care about your illness, you have about your injury, about, and you have to maintain a short first aid box. Medication is also very important, particular in this time, because due to the not proper medication, if you become ill, you will feel the very bad, and you will get into a very tough situation. So before for proper medication, you fix the alarm in your clock, that which you allow, which you alarm you to take the medicine. You have to maintain a particular routine. We are very most of us, we are very not very careful regarding taking medicine. Someday, I myself also sometimes I have take the medicine. I have to take a medicine at 12 o'clock. I forget it, and in the evening I take it. I have take it at the instead of one, I take it two or two times at a time. So we are not very careful about this process. So we have to maintain the medication routine very strictly at this present situation. And at the same time, if we have to go for the particular in this situation, when we are all arrested in the room and hearing that after two or three house, a COVID positive has been identified, immediate I am become stressful. Immediate I am become panicked. So you have to maintain and your stress in a particular level. You have to, and you have to speak out, and you have to think about it, that your stress is not become too high. So you accordingly, you have to exercise, you have to very consciously, you have to think about not to be stressed yourself. Psychological and mental health, it is also depends upon or more or less it is also depend upon the test or itself. And it in this it is one of the most important aspect to be well-being. And you have to do different type of mental exercise. For mental exercise, I will go later. You have to do some mental exercise for to be mentally healthy. And sometimes, if you cannot tolerate the psychological test, mental test, then speak with the professional by phone and through other media, and consult with others regarding how to manage your stress, etc., etc. Healthful living space, where you are staying at present, try to maintain this place clean and so far you can. And it should be airy, it should be clean, and there should be it should be very hygienic, and you have to maintain all the things at present. Because without a good place, without a good room, without a good space, you cannot be mentally healthy. And nowadays, as we are all blocked in a particular room, we are very much confined with in a home itself. So it is very difficult. It is nowadays it is very difficult to it is very essential to maintain a relationship with our neighbors and with our friends, with our colleagues, with our parents, etc., etc. So this is the now we can use all sorts of social media, phone call, messages, video calling, etc. That we can maintain social relationship through which we can improve our mental state, through which we can be relaxed, we can be convey which I want to speak, which I convey my stress, and etc., etc. And so in this particular time we must have to special emphasis on to maintain the social relationship. Sometimes we call my friends when I need to him, and but in this particular session you make a practice to call in a day or call in a week to your friends, to your relatives, and talk with sometimes regarding their well-being, etc., etc. Then you will be you will be also well. And recreation activity is too much important for all, from for any age, for all ages. You have to think those who have a little younger children, little kids in their home, they have to plan for their son, for their daughter, how they can keep them busy. And if when and we can also, the elders can do some different types of activity, and you can play, sometimes you can play ludos, you can play chess, you can play Chinese checker, and you can hear music, and you can dance in your home with headphone. You can do many type of exercise in this recreational type of exercise, for which you can spend your energy. Your son, your daughter can spend their energy in a positive way, and they after that they can have a good sleep. So you have to keep specific give specific emphasis on recreational activity. Spirituality, every day you spend some time and try to be in spiritual way. You can take spiritual guidance from your seniors, from gurus, etc., etc. That you must be spiritual from, because we need to depend on some. We need sometimes to depend with somewhere, and the spiritual aspect helps you to develop your energy, develop your courage within yourself. So spirituality is one of the important aspect. Personal health choice. Now, this is the time. Well, how you want to stay. Whether if you want to stay well, then you have to do some good practice. You don't take tobacco, alcohol, drug. You have to do everything that you can stay well, and it is yours. You can stay well if you think well, and don't use drugs. Try to go for exercise daily and try to maintain a routine. And in this particular situation, it is very much important to go for exercise, physical activity, regular basis. Physical activity is the general term, includes sports, dance, activities, etc., etc., climbing, jumping, etc. And physical activity needs to be a fit person, and to be physically fit, which I've already discussed Arnav earlier, to be physically fit, to be, you have to take calories, you have to take foods. One thing I like that if you earn money and keep it, if you earn money, if you suppose you earn money 50,000 rupees earned per month, and if you don't spend 50,000, then some money will deposit in your bank. And if you earn 50,000, spend 60,000, then you have a deficit in every month's budget in your home. And if you earn 50,000 and spend 50,000, you will be hand that you can run your family quite smoothly. So as that, you have to take food like that. If your requirement is less, take more food, then you will gain your weight. And if you take less calories, then you lose your weight. And if your calorie consumption and expenditure of calories become equal, then you can maintain your health. But for the younger student, for the younger, particularly old age, particularly for particularly this is very much important to maintain a lifetime fitness. This is a requirement for everybody. So to maintain your fitness, do physical activity regular. The, then only you will get fit. You have to assess yourself. That means you have to take your weight. At least you can take your weight. At least you can assess yourself. You have to plan yourself accordingly how we will spend your, how we will maintain your fitness. And you have to do some activity regularly and for a longer duration. And then only if you can maintain your lifetime fitness, then you will be well for a longer days, longer period. And you have to do physical activity every day, and you have to make this activity a part of your life. Then in a day we get approximate 1440 minutes regularly, approximately the actual time. In 24 hours we get 1440 minutes, and at least we needed 30 to 50 minutes, 30 minutes to 50 minutes for my own. You have to at least plan for 30 minutes schedule physical activity regularly, then you can maintain your fitness. And you yourself can do activity with some norms and measurements. We know about, you can understand your heart rate. This is a simple equation. 220 minus your age is equal to your maximum heart rate. This is approximate. And you have to work daily with a 60% of your maximum heart rate to 80% your maximum heart rate. Your 60% to 80% maximum heart rate you can calculate with the help of this equation. Our target, you put every day when you are working for a longer duration, you are doing some activity for a longer duration for half an hour or 30 minutes or 40 minutes or 50 minutes, you have to set a target heart rate. Because if it is become too low, the space of walking or space of exercise become too low, it will not so helpful. If it is too high, then you cannot continue for a longer time. So you have to maintain in a particular for developing your cardiovascular efficiency, you have to maintain a schedule heart rate, that is we call target heart rate, and this is near about, nor in for those who are 50, around 50, for a normal people it is from 85 to 199 19 beats per minute. This is approximate, this is average. This may be those who are those, it depends upon their previous background. Those who have a very good background of physical activity, sports, etc., that for them it may be higher, and for general people it will be run within 85 to 190, like that. So you have to work for a longer duration in a moderate range, that means within this target zone. There are so many and there are so many exercise. There are different types of exercise you can do in your home within this COVID-19, within this period, within a short small area, within the home. We can do plan very different type of exercise. These are the freehand exercise. You can do some freehand exercise. You can do yogic asanas, yogas. You can do in your home Zumba exercise. You can do aerobic exercise. You can plan for gymnastics type exercise. There are so many exercise type of exercise you can do. You can plan in your home itself within this period. I have given some of the examples of the freehand exercise which you can do within a small area, within 5 meter or 5 meter space in your home, in your floor, in your etc. These are all are the very common exercises. High knee action, forward bending, backward bending, side bending, jumping jack, etc. Sit up, plank, etc. etc. You can do all this exercise in your floor itself, and you can do all this exercise with your family, maintaining the social distance with your family, with your son, with your wife, and all. You can do all this exercise, and you can make a home club. You can make a home club from where you can get energy to do all this exercise, because all in when you are go for a exercise alone, sometimes it is become monotonous. So this type of attitude, when you call your son, you call your wife, and you call your girls, daughter, and engage them exercise to maintain a situation that will help you for maintaining this type of exercise. Yogic asana, it is very important, and you must, I hope many of us, those who are hearing all this lecture, those who are in this session, many of them are doing yogic asana nowadays, because it brings different it improves our blood circulation system, our mental system. It helps to reduce our stress. So many important aspect is particularly for maintaining a health. Yogic asana is very much important, and it's required not so much place, and it is very easy to do it. You can do alone. Sure, these are this. I have given some allotment name of the asana: Sarvanga asana, Mayurasana. So many asanas is there. You can do all these asanas. If you Surya Namaskar is one of the a good exercise. You can do this exercise also. Padasana, so many exercise you can do in this situation. Beside this, you can do also pranayama and krida. I hope we are all thinking about now in the COVID during this period. We are very aware about our respiratory system and circulatory system, because this COVID affects mostly this system. So to maintain this system properly in working condition, it clean it properly. These are the pranayama and kriya is very much important. And these are the, I have given all the names. I have given 1, 2, 3 pictures also. There you can the 3 pictures for pranayama and 2 kriya, Noli and Neti and Noli I have already given. So you can practice in your home itself. You can practice uh, within your space, and you can get energy, and you can release your stress, everything during this exercise. Zumba is one type of exercise that is, this is a tempo exercise. This is a group exercise. If you have enough space in your place and with the rhythm, you 2, 3 can practice this type of exercise. This type of exercise is very important to burn the calorie on our exercise, more or less. Sometimes according to the tempo, it burns 300 to 9,900 calories per hour. So this type of exercise is also very important. If you go, if you know it, if it is known to you, if you will get many cassette, many link from where you can do this exercise, get help to do this type of exercise. So you can go do this type of exercise during this pandemic situation. And aerobics it is very common at present. Very it is a dance type of movement you can do with rhythm for a aerobic exercise. This is for a longer duration. This is 10, 15, 20 minutes exercise, and this exercise increase your cardiovascular efficiency, increase your aerobic capacity, that means oxygen consumption, etc., etc., it increases during this period. So aerobic exercise also may be very helpful during this period, and you will get many cassettes of aerobic exercise within the very different social media. Gymnastics, you can do also gymnastics in your home itself, particularly for younger kids. You can do them gymnastics activity in the floor itself, forward roll, backward roll, split, hand split, etc., etc. So during this period, to maintain your fitness, it is very essential to do a daily routine and exercise program. Without doing proper exercise within, you cannot be fit in this situation, because your movement has become restricted. You are confined within the room. You go out of outside activity has become less, and you are maximum time you are becoming bored down alone. So with this type of exercise, would help you to be fit in this particular situation. So I hope during this COVID-19 situation, when you will be hope you do some sort of exercise every day, keep particularly set a routine, and try to keep yourself fit. And nobody can say whether, if you there are so many examples, those who are fit also, they have also affected by COVID-19. Still your fitness will protect you somewhat to stay better in the society at present. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, sir,
Thank you.
for giving valuable speech about uh, fitness and wellness in home quarantine. How to fit in this pandemic situation. Sir guided us, and if we follow the prescriptions given by the sir, surely we will benefit in this present situation. So if you have any questions from the audience or participants, please chat your question in the chat box. Please type your question in the chat box. I have already a questions from Dr. Asif Jamal. Sir, please. The question is, in this COVID situation, many people suffering from hypertension and anxiety.
Yes.
What are your suggestions for them in home?
To do
Sir.
pranayama, particularly in this time, if you want to release your tension, you do some sort of exercise, like do any sort of exercise. Particularly, if you go for pranayam, it will help to release your tension, and at the same time, you do some other sorts type of exercise also, dance like it, etc., etc. That means you can go for rhythmic dance, etc., rhythmics dance, etc. That will help to reduce your tension.
Thank you.
And you can dance with the music, particularly.
Oh.
You can dance with the music, or you can go for pranayama. Pranayama will help you to reduce your tension.
Thank you, sir. And there is no question, sir. Thank you for giving such valuable information about the fitness and wellness. Thank you, sir.
Thank
you. Our next speaker, I would like to invite Dr. Sogota Sarkar. Dr. Sogota Sarkar is a assistant director of physical education, Mizoram University. Sir has completed his BPEd and MPEd from PGT CPE Banipur under Calcutta University. Sir also completed his MPhil from Vinayaka Mission University, Tamil Nadu, and PhD from Kolani University. Sir also associated different sports organizations in India. More than 18 papers published in different reputed journals. Sir also conducted many inter-university, inter-colleges tournament in your university, in his university, and Sir has delivered about the psychological factor of health. In this time, psychological factor is very important aspects in this COVID situation. So, for this factor, Dr. Sogota Sarkar is lecture her deliver about psychological factor. Over to you, Dr. Sogota Sarkar.
Am I visible?
Yes, 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 you're visible.
Is my slide is already shared?
No, till now it is not shared. You just click on share screen, which is available in the bottom. Sir, this is visible now.
Is it okay? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank you to the organizer to invite me in this calling to something and discuss something regarding my topic, the psychology. And one thing, this I am also thankful to Mr. President, governing body, and the principal, and special thank to the whole Srikrishna family. Okay, we are having the very difficult situation. The country is going on, and the whole world is going on. We are suffering so many problems. We have suddenly changed our lifestyle. So drastic change of this lifestyle has changed. Has some impact. Those impact are, if we categorize those impact, those are purely dominating in physical, psychological, mental, emotional, social. All aspect is controlled. So before going to discuss these things, today we are going to discuss these values and understanding of psychological fitness during this COVID situation. What we are going to deal, how the situation we are facing, what are the problems, what the government are taking care of us, what we should have the responsibilities to the government, to the societies also. It's not the one-sided, then we cannot fight with all those things. We have to overcome anyhow this situation. So first of all, everything you have to cheer up, you have to boost up yourself and the whole community of yourself. You have to motivate yourself, you have to motivate your family members, you have to support your government and the whole community to the family. Then only we can give a bout to the coronavirus. Okay, so before going to the main discussion, we should have to know, I think most of our participant and listener are physical education students and some teachers, maybe. So expecting that one, I would like to mention that what is psychology actually. When we think about psychology and philosophy, there's some concept comes in the generally in our mind that a philosopher should have a big bag with a whole beard in his full face and standing under a tree and thinking something this and that. So this is not the situation. When we think, suppose, sir, what is your principle? You can say that my principle is not to tell a lie. So you are nursing a very good principle in your mind that you will not tell a lie. That is coming from some philosophy. That is the philosophy of idealism. Whenever we are going to a class, you want to enrich your student. So when you are trying to enrich your student, that philosophy of idealism comes into automatically in your action. So philosophy, and this philosophy has nurtured and developed this thought of psychology by the school of thought, or the purely the establishment of this psychology, this subject. So psychology in the older concept, it deals with the study of soul and mind. But when we talk about mind, we touch our heart. But here in the pectoralis major muscles is there, heart is there, ribs are there. So nothing inside there is mind. Mind means something in the feelings over my head, inside my head. So biological psychology little bit of developed, and now in American Psychological Association, always they are trying to focus on that study which is purely related with the nervous system. So now, as per William James, he stated very nicely in 1890 that psychology should deal with the behavior. That should be the animal behavior also as well as human behavior. So as we are dealing with the human personality or human all characteristics, so we will go with the human psychology. So child psychology, sports psychology, educational psychology, clinical psychology, military psychology, adult psychology, all those things are the study under the psychology. So today we will try to cover the impact of lockdown, concept of health and wellness, which has already our respected sir covered, but little bit of I will touch challenges and issues related to health and wellness, psychological fitness. This is the main focus of today's discussion regarding the topic. And learning psychological skills, how can we learn those skills in the systematic way and the planned way, management of anticipatory stress, anxiety and depression. So what the last question was asked by someone, sir has nicely countered that question. So this is the purely dealing with the psychology. This is the anticipatory stress, anxiety and depression. Okay, we will discuss those things. Handling of social isolation and emotional problems, benefit of exercise and health tips, something we will try. So let us see what the impact of lockdown has we are facing. The three main area the lockdown we are facing, that is physical movement out of home. We cannot go outside, we cannot go here and there, we cannot go to our gym and to playing area, even we cannot go to for a morning walk or evening walk also. That means this physical movement is strictly restricted. Next one is social distancing outside the home. Though there is some controversy, some doctors and psychologists, they are talking social distancing, how we will maintain the social distancing. Social distancing means some courtesy, suppose like handshake. Handshake, we will have to avoid the handshaking because the virus can contaminate. It can travel from one person to one person. It can communicate easily. That in that sense, social distance. But otherwise, social distance. Suppose through online mode we are giving lecture, we are listening. These things are also social. We are telephoning. We are taking care about our parents or near and dears. So social distance in that sense is not restricted. Physical distancing is maintaining. Then the restricted availability of most public services except the essential and health issues and those items. So this physical movement out of home, again, what this has impact in our life, these are issuing the physical fitness and health related fitness for professional players as well as the normal players, those who are not going for the professional games. But this has the impact of physical education students, office goers, and even homemakers, children, elderly people, means the whole community. Then the another thing is psychosocial impact, means it is impacting on our relationship and mental status like aggression, anticipatory aggression, stress, anxiety, depression. This total mentally, some people are disbalanced. We whole community is not disbalanced. Some people is thinking, some panic is there. So these things are this has the impact on here. And the next one is economic crunch. So this is the main important thing. We have seen the very bad scenario in our country, in even the world also, with the migrant labor, how they are suffering. So all across the country, more than 45% of the household have reported raw income drop in comparison to last year's numbers. The employed ones are not well off either, as there have been numerous reports of salary cuts all across various organizations in India as well as outside also. During this lockdown, only in Indian economy was expected to lose an estimate USD 4.5 billion every single day. It remained shut out of the USD 2.8 trillion economy being run in the nation. Less than 25% of the entire system was barely functional and registering any sort of movement in the market. So the main problem is supply chain are under distress due to the lockdown, due to the initial lack of clarity between essential and non-essential items. So in this regard, what we understand, the total health and wellness is affected. So in very generally, we know that WHO has given a definition: a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity, is the definition of health. But here is a problem. What is the problem? You can ask me that you are saying this definition as accepted by the WHO as given, we all abide by this one, but you are raising the question because the question gives us a solution. You have to think in the different way. Champions do not do the different thing. They do the same thing, but in the different way. That is my point I would like to highlight. We all have to think in different way. Here the complete term is very absolute. What is complete? Very rightly our professor sir has said that complete, it's the feelings. If I feel that I have that physical quality, mental quality, social well-being, then I can understand that I am very healthy. So it doesn't mean that thin, lean, and sick or very muscular is the concept of the health net. Your mentality, we have to nurture a good mentality, a total mentality. And in case of wellness, when we talk about this, it's an active process. Always we have to counteract with all these problems. to process through which people become aware of. We have to be aware and make choice towards a more successful existence. Not only the negative thoughts, we have to go for the positive thoughts. So wellness is considered a conscious, self-directed and evolving process to achieving full potential. Wellness is multidimensional. As I said, its physical dimension is there, its social dimension is there, its emotional dimension is there, mental dimension is there, and it's also holistics, encompassing lifestyle, mental and spiritual well-being, and the environment. Wellness is positive and affirmative. No negative thing is there. And when we talk about the health related fitness, these components are purely dominating the physical dominant: cardiovascular endurance, muscular strength, muscular endurance, flexibility, body composition. Our previous respected speaker already has mentioned how we nurture those things, so we are not going with this. But the main thing is this physical fitness and wellness and health related fitness, when we nurture and maintain is up to a sustained level, then automatically psychologically we are fit. So social ecology and homeostasis and hypokinetics, this is what, due to this lockdown, we are sitting in the home for the after 25th of March, when the first time it was announced the lockdown. So our body try to maintain a homeostasis within these internal organs. Suppose all the organ work systematically. So when we are inactive, so we are consuming more fat ideally. So this fat gives us it gives a it's a problem. So this inactivity when gives a problem, then we are having this some hypokinetic diseases. So that is why the activity is the basis of life. What we say is, when we say is activity, this figure will show you the skeletal structure. Means we are having some system. The suppose skeletal system, muscular system, endocrine system, respiratory system, heart system. So all these systems are instinctively active. So activity is the basis of life. All these living beings are instinctively active. They move and they live. They live because they move. So life is characterized by movement or activity. Without activity, life, there is no meaning. All function of this organism are the function of movement. Movement is the cosmic principle in matter and mind. The inherent energy in the matter generates movement, and movement in turn creates, propagate, and sustain the life. Like each atom, each cell of the body contain vital energy, which causes it to remain in a state of constant motion or movement. The entire process of reproduction in an organism, fertilization, cell division, cell multiplication, cell differentiation, birth of a young one, is a matter of movement. So when we categorize the movement is two types: several survival activity, developmental activity. Survival activity, which we cannot control, automatically it's functioning in within our body, the organs do that one to survive. And developmental activity is the locomotor activity for the developmental, the muscular activity. So these activities are coming all for the survival for the fittest. Is running is giving is from this and from this fear. This jumping is also to overcome some hurdles, and this killing, this idea has given is jumping. So fundamental activity is running, jumping, throwing. In the physical education we discuss those things. So what is the difference between activity and physical exercise? Because it is very important. Sometimes we are confused with exercise and activity. Activity means any type of movement which needs the expenditure of energy. Any type of movement that needs, that is simply. But when we talk about the physical exercise or exercise is systematic, planned, prolonged, and developmental, which has impact on the body. This any type of activity known as physical exercise. So again, exercise categorized as aerobic capacity, muscular strength, muscular endurance, flexibility, and body composition. So health risk due to the lockdown is for the long time, as we are inactive. So osteoarthritis, coronary heart disease, gallbladder disease, hypertension, respiratory problems, several cancer, hypertension, even fertilization problem also is occurring during this time. So, and on the other hand, the main thing is psychological problem during this time. This aggressiveness, anticipatory stress and anxiety, and depression. We will discuss all those things. Okay, so aggression, what is aggression? If we go with the aggression, feeling of anger or antipathy resulting in holistic or violent behavior, readiness to attack or confront. Again, aggression is two type. Sorry, aggression is two type. This is retaliatory aggression and instrumental aggression. So retaliatory aggression is when a person intentionally want to hamper or harm one another person physically or mentally. So like this, we can think that this retaliatory aggression is required. Yes, required. That is why military psychology we have discussed. Psychology is a vast area. So in case of military aggression, this retaliatory aggression is required. You have the enemy, anyhow you have to harm them. So that is the aggressiveness. But you can compare that, sir. Then in boxing this is required. No, boxing is a game. You have to own. You are giving a bout, but you don't want to harm him. You want to win. You want to get some point. But in sports also, instrumental aggression is needed. And anticipatory stress and anxiety, it is also very important. As per the concept of the last question, I am telling you that anticipatory stress means a panic relating to your future. What is going to be, when this coronavirus will finish, whether the situation will be normal or not, how we will live. Those type of panic, don't be panic. Doctors are there, state is there, your country is there, every people is working for that, researchers are there, ICMR are there, big institutes are there. What the direction is given, we have to follow those direction. And anxiety is also a disturbed state of body, emotionally reactive, unrealistic and unpleasant state of body and mind. This is also state, trait, competitive, different type of anxiety is there. So in that case, we will also discuss how to handle those things. And depression is not such a sadness. When it is prolonged, suppose you have a sadness for the long time, more than 2 or 3 weeks, you are having this sadness, apathy, loneliness, then you are feeling this, you are depressed. But consider this, here is the difference between aggressiveness, anticipatory stress, anxiety, and depression. Depression is a disease, but aggressiveness, anticipatory stress, and anxiety, it is within our body and mind. We can control with our education, but always depression cannot be controlled with the education. Then the experts' knowledge is required, and we have to go to the experts. Now psychological fitness, when we are talking with these mental qualities or these emotional parameters, then we have to know that what is psychological fitness. When we measure and assess the level of anxiety, depression, stress, self-esteem, satisfaction, positive relationship, responsibility and competence, then we can evaluate how psychologically you are fit. It means there are some components within the psychological fitness. Like if we compare, mainly the physical education students may easily understood that when we talk about physical fitness, then we measure our speed, strength, endurance, agility, flexibility, those things. So like these parameters, anxiety, depression, such and such things, we discuss, we measure, then we say about this psychologically whether a person is fit or not, to determine then how this psychological fitness will be determined. To determine by how we are thinking, you have to change your think. Psychological fitness is the main thing. As I have earlier I have mentioned that you have to change your thinking. That is the main thing, how you are thinking. Learn how to think accurately. This is also very important. In this regard, I would like to quote Albert Einstein. He said, we cannot solve our problem with the same thinking we used when we create them. Psychological fitness requires different kind of thinking than the kind we might be familiar with, especially if we are not psychologically fit. Then the second thing is how to learn this thing accurately. This is very vital thing. So you have to listen yourself. Everybody will have to listen ourselves. We can understand thinking by remembering the word of Plato here. Very important thing. When the mind is thinking, it is talking to itself. The first task in any psychological fitness is to listen to yourself talking to yourself. This might seem silly, but it becomes important because those simple sentences of our internal dialogue means self-talk allow us to find psychological issues. Effectually thinking can promote physiological flexibility and adaptability also. Now the factor comes this psychological fitness, how all those things are interrelated. Nothing, we Rusho has rightly stated that to educate separately mind and physics is a dull thinking. The human body is as a whole. If human body as a whole, then there is no separate things. But when we talk about psychology, then the whole body that has the in behavioral approach. So this behavioral approach depends on stimulus also. What are the stimulus? May be internal or external. So when we regulate our mood and mindset, when these factors unwind our distress, then the question may come, how can we distress ourselves? You just drink water, eat something healthy, slap some honey, drink and eat, munch a crunch snack, breathe, try relaxation technique, be alone, divided the conquer, smell the rose, calls, call someone, laugh, cattle your pet. These are the some technique that we can de-stress. Then building your mind. What does it mean? Building your mind, a flexible mind. In our families, always there is a problem. Suppose the husband is going. I am giving you an example. Suppose husband is going to the market and he after he return he forget to bring the turmeric or chili. Then a firing situation is there. Then rapidly he is again going to outside. So especially in this situation, one day if you don't mix the turmeric in your food, no harm is there. Please be quiet. This is the ad cue. What the psychologists say. Now the who is more educated, the person who has the adjustment quality. Means this is shortly we tell this ad cue. You have to adjust somehow with this situation. Suppose never we have thought this type of gadget use, we will be able to do those things. So we are fighting with this situation. We are using, we are adopting, we are learning all these situations. So flexible mind is very important, and grow your compassionate mind in this situation to fight this one. Cultivate your confidence, self-belief, because you may be the only person to take care of your family. So your confidence is very important. But one thing is very important here. I would like to tell you, as per personality, when we discuss, some introvert persons are there. They doesn't want to share even with their near and dears also. So you have to share your things because you are the human being. Don't take much stress. You have your fellow feelings also. You have the country needs you, your family needs you. Whether you are a teacher, you are a student, you are a youth, everybody needs you. Sustain your resilience, then develop the grit. It means the confidence also, strengthening support network as with the phone and all we can do. Then reviving all those things, main thing comes to maintain the physical well-being. If you maintain the physical well-being, automatically all these psychological factors are nurtured. So here management of anticipatory stress and anxiety is very important nowadays. As this we have focused, we say that knowledge is power. Why? Because if more you know about a certain issue, the less fearful you may feel. You make to assess and believe only the most reliable sources of information for self-protection. Don't go with the sensational news or social media post which may impact your mental state. Do not spread or share any unverified news or information further in your group or whatever. Don't go with that. Do not keep discussing all the time about who gets sick and how. Instead, learn about who got well and recovered. Okay, stick to the known advice, hand hygiene, and keeping the physical distance from other. It is being careful about yourself and also about care of others. A common cold is not the infection. We know the symptom of corona have already been well described by the doctors and our state administration, country administration. Follow etiquette of sneezing, coughing, avoid spitting in the public places. Then we can automatically manage our anticipatory stress and anxiety. And as I told you, don't think about your future, what is going on. And now the management of this depression. As I state, that depression is the sadness of your mind. So there is three theories, but as I mentioned, this one is one type of disease. It's a mental disease. So only with learning and discussing all those things, we may not control those things, but at least we can guess whether some people is depressed, whether the psychologist is required, clinical psychology is required, expert is required. So what they do when we go with to them, they deal with their equipment is that cognitive behavioral theory. It's very famous now in India, even also CBT. We know CBT means they give some 2 or 3 sessions, normally 1 or 2 sessions in the day, in a week, and it's like a short course, 2 to 12 session they take, and they change your thinking approach. Okay, the therapy technique that can help people find new way to behave and change their thought pattern. The next one is psychoeducation. This term may be new, but it's not now in the area. The psychoeducation means it is to use the resource in the proper way. This is the very important thing. Resource means, it doesn't mean the mining resource we are going to use. Resource means your wife may be your resource, your son, your sibling may be your resource, your father and mother may be your resource, and you yourself, what your creativity is there. Your creativity may be the resource to control your depression, that you have to rethink with yourself. Then the interpersonal therapy, that is also very important. This social interaction always is required. That what I have not mentioned here is educational therapy is very important. Go through the books, eminent personalities book, and nurture your hobbies. Then only you can overcome all these situations. Now we have 5 steps when we start all these programs means when we start to manage this aggression or whatever the psychological problems we mentioned, or if we try to handle our physical fitness, then 5 phases are there. What are these 5 phases? Decision making means today suddenly you can take a decision, it will take 2 to 3 seconds, then you will jump and start, but actually it will give 2 to 3 weeks to make a good habit. Once you have your own habit, then slowly you have some doubt, why I am doing this one, what I have to do, I don't have any guidance. Don't go with this. Let those doubts come. It is very common and very natural. When doubts will come, you progress those things, it will make you stronger. It is very natural. Clear your doubt as early as possible, then you will go to the next phase, that is the third phase. You may have to redo this phase continually throughout the quest of fitness. Firm belief is needed here. The motivation is needed. Motivation, you have to motivate yourself. No prize is there. You have to be fit for you, for your family, for your community, for your country, because always I say country needs you. Whoever the potentiality you have, we are not prophet, we have not seen those things. So tomorrow you may have some potential, what the potentiality you have tomorrow, that may be the resource of our country. So don't be shy to nurture all of your potentiality. Phase 4, the total identity change and self-confidence realization period is nurtured. Be an example to the others. When you are the example, some people are there, those who go to gym, they work their hands, they spread and move, their attitude is something different. It's not like that. Be simple, down to the art, simple living, high thinking. That is the Indian philosophy. You have to nurture this philosophy, and with this philosophy you have to deal all of your problems. And the Phase 5, it is the next step, but the journey never ends. Set and conquer goal of yourself, whatever you like, sport running, plank, so many things are there, I will show you. And lastly, the fitness. What is the fitness? This fitness already our previous speaker has already very nicely said. So what I will tell you, you just continue that one. Fitness is a journey, not a destination. When you are up to a level of fitness, then suddenly if you have a break, then your fitness will come down. So you have to continue your fitness. So that is why I used to say it's not the destination, it's a journey. Okay, so in this way, the handling emotional problems is also very important. At the time of anxiety, you take a practice of breathing slowly for few minutes. Try and distance the thought that are making you anxious. Think of something calm and serene, and slow down your mind. When you feel angry and irritated, yeah, my mother also used to say, you count from back counting from 100 to 10. So that time we didn't understand. Now we are understanding this counting back from 10 to 1 is also psychologist also prescribe us. So many small things when our parents suggest us are very important. Sometimes we may follow those things, but over the time past we may value those things very more. Even when feeling afraid, deal with it by asking yourself, what is under my control? This is very important. You ask yourself, what is your control? We cannot do anything, we cannot control anything, but don't create any created problem within the family, within your area. Am I unnecessarily worrying about the worst thing that can happen? When I have been stressed in the past, how have I managed? What are the things I can do to help myself to be positive? Okay, so these questions are very useful. Nothing, be clear in your mind, nothing, nobody will come and help you. This type of knowledge you are getting from your surroundings will help you. Feeling lonely or sad is quite common. Stay connected to the others. Please share yourself with your friends, with your teammate or whoever is connected with you. You just share with these things. If any of these emotions persist continuously for several days, talk about it with someone, or take mental health professional of contact your doctor. That is very important. Don't ignore those things. Now, handling of social isolation. This is mainly actually is given by our health expert, and our state policy is taking. Remain always busy, have a regular schedule, help doing some of the work at the home. Then only you can spend your time very nicely with small things. Try to take your enjoyment at the home. Distract yourself from negative emotion, as I have mentioned previously, by listening to music, reading, watching an entertainment program. Now, watching the entertainment program is also a very difficult thing. Whole day we are staying with the this photograph and social gadget and all. You go with this social gadget, but you should be choosy. In case of reading also, you should be choosy what the books you will select. So you go with the eminent personalities book. Rediscover your old hobbies like painting, gardening, stitching. Go back to them. You can have very good habits. So it's very nice time, especially those who are staying with the family. You are not like hours that we are staying very away from our family and all. Eat well and drink plenty of fluid. It gives you the very good energy. Already that is the health aspect already discussed by Arnab ji. Sharing and caring, understand if something around you needs your needs and advice. Elderly people may feel confused and need help. Take care about them, their medicine and other needs. If you have children at home, keep them busy by allowing them to help in the household chores. Make them feel responsible and acquire new skills. Be physically active and improve your immunity and spend nice time. Then here the again the physical activity comes or the exercise comes. What the activity we will do already we have discussed, but here is the classification. This aerobic exercise, strength exercise, stretching exercise, balance exercise, general exercise, specific exercise. These are the category. General exercise for general health, general fitness, well-being of general life, and specific exercise for sports training, goal and competition oriented. So all the sports event is stopped, but those professional players should have to nurture their sim. Is these things are very simple exercise: wall sit, sumo squat, calf raise, static lunge. But basic thing you will consider whole your muscles. Suppose the leg muscle, hand muscle, pectoralis major, pectoralis minor, sternocleidomastoideus, trapezius, longus, sternocleidomastoideus. With all these muscles, you have to involve your activities. Hamstring curl, forearm curl. These things are very simple. Side plank, glute bridge. And here I would like to inform you these exercise. Okay, we have a conception of this exercise, but how long we will do? You have to maintain your crest load until and unless you feel fatigue. You do that one, and then again you take a break, and then again you do that one. On that is the 30 minutes of exercise you will have to do. Madhav sir also has said. And for maintaining those things and flexibility and all, Padmasana, Yoga Mudrasana, Matsasana, Vajrasana, Ardha Kurmasana, Ustrasana, Bokrasana, Bhujangasana. These asanas are very important to make you cool and calm and to be in a fresh mind. So here one important thing is how the asanas normally, don't mind, I am going to give you very relevant example. Whether the Ramdev, what he is doing, what Ramdev is doing, he is very nicely the yogasanas have popularized. So very good credit, means all the credit goes to you, goes to him. But the one thing here is a difference between yoga and yogasanas, that sometimes we are confused. Yogasanas, yogic exercise and yogasanas. Yogic exercise, your heart should be in a normal condition, but this jumping, leaping, climbing, these are not yogic exercise. Why? Because when we jump or climb or this type of strenuous exercise we do, our heart rate raise, our respiration changes. But the basic thing is, in case of yoga, we are maintaining our health. Here heart rate should be normal, slightly it may raise, but it should not be very identified. Okay, and in case of asanas you can see the reverse order. Suppose yoga mudrasana and matsasana, these two, you are forward bending and another one is backward bending. Both are relating to your spine. So in this way always we have to alternative way. Then you do the vajrasana, erect yourself, then ardha kurmasana, again forward bending, then ustrasana, backward bending. So this is the general guidance. Here the physical education teachers, experts, exercise experts, yogic experts comes into the action. So to make you very cool and less stressful, Kapalbhati Kriya is very important. Sit in a meditative pose, either in Padmasana, Siddhasana or Sukhasana. Take a spontaneous inhalation by your nostril. After that, forcefully exhalation by contracting your lower abdomen or glottis. Then take a spontaneous inhalation. Practice 60 minutes per minute. That is one round. Kapalbhati should be done for 7 to 8 times. Okay, besides all those asana and plank, some aerobic exercise, stretching exercise, all in the indoor. We can do stretching exercise, balancing exercise. And what is the important thing is, you see why this is normally we say that when you are doing exercise, open your eyes, close your mouth, but here is a smile to identify intentionally. I am showing these photographs because you have to enjoy that one. Whether you are smiling during that exercise time or not, that is not important, and you don't do that one, that have an adverse effect also. But you have to enjoy the exercise. And what should we not to do? Avoid tobacco, alcohol and other drugs. Do not shun or judge people with a COVID infection, and do not panic. Benefit of exercise, so many benefits are there. We already know physical activity gives a reduce your risk of heart attack, manage your weight better, have a lower blood cholesterol level, have a lower risk of type 2 diabetes and some cancers, have lower blood pressure, have strong bones. And when and how these exercises we will do, there is no research evidence that a particular time, but you manage your time. You should not be very hungry or not, you will not perform immediately after your full stomach. You have taken a lot of food and you are going for jumping and climbing, those things you will not do. The most important thing is to choose a time of day you can stick with, so that exercise becomes a habit. And now at last, already the so many things we have discussed. So at last, the 10 tips, the very vital tips. Always you start your day with a glass of water, because your body is, after a long sleep, means night sleep, you are thirsty. And you start a very good breakfast because you are also hungry. So morning breakfast is very important, and breakfast should not be only whatever is there I am taking. It should be balanced diet. So it is also very important, balanced diet. Already we have gone through the nutrition, micronutrient, macronutrient, vitamin B, E, C is very important. Go with your doctors for immunization. Your means consult your doctor after a regular interval, because if you have any problem, then only doctor can suggest you. Don't go with other people and discuss those things. Then you check your child's immunization, because we are passing very bad time during this situation. But you have to go through your the diary and all, whatever, wherever you have written all those things. Then the computer, as we are using during this time the computer and all gadget. So my suggestion is, the 2020 is very famous. 2020 means, after a 20 minutes of constant work, you give a break minimum for 20 seconds. Then only, some liquid portion is in our eyes when the lights from the gadgets are coming, so it becomes a dry. So when you give a 20 seconds of break, then it's very good to have this nursing this habit. Then always wash your hand with soap during this time. After some time, then do this exercise for 30 minutes. Already I have said so many exercises within the home. I have tried to make this, which are very easy, and without having any equipment we can do those exercises. And good sleep is very important, and interpersonal relationship with your family, with your friends, those who are abroad also. Even you give a talk after some time, okay, you be connected and make yourself healthy. These 10 health tips already I have discussed. Then mind, set up your mind that exercise for all and 30 minutes minimum a day to maintain health and reduce your health risk problems. Health professionals and researchers recommend minimum this 30 minutes moderate to intensity physical activities. Don't start with a sudden burst. Okay, so what psychologists specialists do, three roles are there. When you have more disorder, means mentally disorder, or you have psychological panic or disturb, then the psychologists have the sports psychology or whatever the psychology, they have their own research. They teach you, they counsel you, and you will be fit. So go with those things. Don't be hesitate to take a help if you have any problem or any type of psychological problem. So experts help always is required, because we are having, suppose if you have any family issues, if you are married, you have some family issues, if your wife is saying let us go to the counseling and all, so we think, am I a mad? It doesn't consider this one as this thing. If you are having some physical disorder also, we are going to the doctor. So what is the problem to go to a counselor? He will suggest us to be fit psychologically. So in this respect, one story I would like to tell you how we can change our mind. Every day one couple used to have some apple from an old lady who was very thin and sick. One day his wife noticed that her husband always would give an apple to the seller and would say, your apples are not sweet, you try one. The old fruit seller remained silent and received that one. This was the daily routine. One day the wife asked her husband, I have seen that always you return one apple to that lady and say that apples are not sweet. Why you are lying? I know that apples are very sweet. You should not do like this. I feel pity to that old woman. You are right. I also know that. I am thankful to you that you noticed that and took pity to her. We should not do that. But empathy is not enough. What you are thinking, but what is in your mind is apathy. So intentionally I gave her one apple from me for her health. As you know, she may not afford fruit for her. This is sympathy. What I try, the husband said. The story doesn't stop here. On the other hand, there was another vegetable seller just near the fruit seller. He was a young man. He also asked to that fruit seller that, why do you accept that returned apple every day? The old lady told, I know that he is giving me one apple every day from his own. So always I give him some more in weight, as he should not have loss. The story says the nice bonding of human kindness in the society to enjoy the life and to be pleased. Have a strong mind and soft heart. Develop a strong mind and you lead a strong life. Many will start fast, few will finish strong. A strong, positive self image is required for yourself and as well as for the society to fight against this situation. Remember, think well, act well, feel well, be well. Not only thank, let's have a practice and give a mental bout or psychological bout to this corona. We will fight, we shall overcome. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Shogut Sarkar, for giving such wonderful and valuable information about psychological factors of our health. Once again, thank you, Dr. Shogut Sarkar. Now this time question answer session. There are some questions in different areas. MG sir also have a question. Shogotada also have a question, and Arnav Roy is also present. The first question to Arnav Roy. Which type of food we will consume to increase our immunity in this pandemic situation? Hello, Dr. Arnav Roy. Listen.
Yes, I can listen.
Which type of food we will consume to increase our immunity in this pandemic situation? What's your suggestion, sir?
To increase our immunity, see, I always told you we should prefer fresh fruits and vegetables. So different food have different minerals, vitamins, everything, like all the nutrients. So to increase our immunity, what increases our immunity? Mostly these micronutrients, right? Vitamins and
Yes.
minerals. We should eat or consume the food which mostly rich in these micronutrients. So mostly
Uh,
citrus fruits, that is I told in the seminar I will shown citrus fruits like oranges, tangerines, apples, grapefruits. Then in terms of other foods like whole grains. Whole grain contains a lot rich in different minerals, right? Whole
yes.
grain. Root crops, different root crops like carrot, cassava, taro, in Bengali calls this kochurmukhi or kochu, you can say. Both these things, then this mete aloo. If you understand Bengali, it's called mete aloo. I think most of the audience are Bengali. So this
Bengali.
kind of root crops, they have they are rich in these minerals and vitamins. So mostly citrus fruits, whole grains, and root crops. And from animal protein, you can have dairy products also, milk, then fish, if possible, mostly seafood, and meat. Meat, I should recommend poultry rather than red meat. Red meats
Okay.
also contain good amount of protein, but instead of red meat, because red meats also have negative impact on our kidney system, it have contains the amount of fat is more. So it's better to avoid red meat and use and eat white meat, poultry.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Mr. Arnav Roy, for your valuable suggestions. Dr. Sogato Sarkar, you have a question. Dr. Sarkar,
Yes,
hello.
yes, I am
And now,
listening.
Riya Sarkar ask a question. Nowadays, people are becoming fat and mentally are changing a lot, like they are getting anxious, frustrated, etc. So how they will overcome this?
Hello.
Hello, on questions, Riya Sarkar.
I understand. I
Uh,
understand. Let me reply.
hmm,
Okay.
hmm,
It's a very nice question. Already, this when we are discussing about the psychological things, my point of view is go for exercise, because as I stated, there is nothing apart from your body. Psychology, when we talk about the psychology inside the mind means the brain proprioceptor gives you help. These all these proprioceptor receptors give you the image. So what, from where the image is coming means I am telling you this stress, to maintain the stress level. From where these strays are coming, these are coming from the news, from the social media or the print media or whatever. Don't start your day with the newspaper with the this much people has died. Just avoid this one. So negative, all any type of negative type of news, you just try to avoid at first. Number one. Number two, try to spend your time with your families, with your fellow feelings. Be connected with them, but don't use your gadget much more unnecessarily. Go through the eminent personalities book. If you do believe, you go with Swami Vivekananda's any type of book. You may not understand Swami Vivekananda, but some books are written by some other writer on Swami Vivekananda. Always I try to follow one very practical example I am giving you. When I have problem, I ask my friends, because he may know something more. Because in our educational system, there is psychology is not taught separately, but in our language means Bengali, English, whatever the language we are starting, there are so many stories, eminent personality stories. So go with those things. Nurture your habit, your old habits, stitching or gardening or listening with the music, good music. Then you can be cool and calm. And here meditation is very important. Why meditation? You have to think yourself. Suppose what in my lecture, this was not possible because of the network issue. So I am
Hello, Swagotada. Can you hear me? Hello, Swagotada. Can you hear me? Suppose
There is actually electrical breakdown in Mizoram University. I think that's what his internet got disconnected.
oh,
The
okay,
university
okay,
because he's
okay,
in the
okay.
office.
Okay, okay. ठीक. That's
Imran, wait for 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Hmm.
Okay, okay. Dr. Arnav, Mr. Arnav, hello.
Yes, yes.
One question I've seen but not written down. What is can? Can vegetables or freeze vegetables, freezer vegetables?
I'm displaying the question, Mr. Arnav. You
Uh,
can see.
this question, please, several times. Please answer this question.
Okay. See, in the canned product, they are actually canned within maybe water or brine water for their longer shelf life. Though there are some preservatives, it is definitely there must be some preservatives which is added inside the can, but there when they are hermetically sealed, when there is no contact with outside environment, they stays for long. This preservative, it is used in the canned product, so is mostly used tin can. If you can see now in sweet shop, they are also selling canned rasgulla kind of things, canned sweets. So for keeping it longer shelf life, we use preservatives. So these preservatives only permitted preservatives by the food law. Okay. Definitely, there are always some side effects of everything. Even if we are drinking too much water, that is also can be harmful. More than necessary, if we drink, that is also harmful. So there is always some side effects of some preservatives is there. Okay. So this preservative is not like these are toxic and other things. Canned food are also good for nutrition, for a diet and nutrition. These preservatives are used for longer shelf life. There is no harm in that. Okay.
Thank you for suggestion the answer the questions. Saijul, can I proceed next step? Saijul, hello,
Yes, yes.
hello.
I have displayed the question. I would like to request to Arnav Rai sir. Would you
No,
like
no,
to answer the question?
no, this question for Sogoto Sarkar. I have written down already.
Okay, okay,
This
okay.
questions
But
for Sogoto
Arnav,
Sarkar
but Sogoto Sarkar sir is not present.
is not available right now.
Okay, let it be go.
Okay, okay. Uh, uh, now it's time now to transfer vote of thanks. Vote of thanks given by Dr. Sajidul Islam, Assistant Professor of Department of Commerce, Srikrishna College, Bagula, Nadia. Over to Sajidul Islam.
Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good noon to all. It is my proud privilege to propose you, excuse me, Dr. Sogoto Sarkar
Oh,
sir entered
sir, 1 minute.
this program. So,
Hello. Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Hello, sir.
Dr. Imran Hussain, please ask two
Yes.
questions to Sogoto Sarkar sir, then I will give the vote of thanks. Okay?
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Sogoto
I can
da.
continue. Yes, yes.
No,
Yes,
Sogoto sir.
you
I
Yes,
can.
can
sir.
continue. You can continue.
I can.
Oh, you can continue. Yes, yes.
Yes, yes. So as I was saying that during this mental disorder, how to manage this psychological stress, anxiety, and those things. So I am extremely sorry that it was my broadband was disconnected, so I am using my mobile. Okay, so excuse me. So the first thing is your motivation level. So you have to nurture your motivation level with books, eminent personalities book, and don't go with the negative thought, negative information with social media, print media, whatever. Don't start your day with a negative news. This was murdered in this area, that and this and that. So if you start to have your day with a positive thinking, then those negative thoughts will not come. You will not be anxious, so aggression will not come. Your anticipatory aggression will be easily controlled and maintained. So what the things in this relation, your involvement of in your hobbies, in your home, in your household work, with your fellow feelings, the maintaining the relationships is the whole area. There is not a some tablet that I will take this tablet and your stress level will cool down. If it is very high, then neurobion type of tablets are there, then we need the consult of the doctors. That is different thing. And how we will maintain the our obesity, that also I have maintained. You go with this plank and some specific exercises already we have stated you. You can go with the wall sit, sumo plank, calf raise, static exercises, hamstring curl, forearm curl, side plank, glute bridge. Then you can cut your fat. But the main thing you remember, the mainly fat adipose tissue, it deposit in the central area, means the navel area. So you have to maintain focus on that particular muscle group, to which from where you want to cut and reduce your fat. That is the important thing. Okay, I think it may be clear. So
Yes, thank you. It is
okay.
clear to the participant.
Uh,
Now we have another.
no, thank you, thank you. Sayul, another question we have. Hello,
Hello.
hello, Sayul.
Yes, yes.
Uh, uh, I ask the question. In the present situation, one asks questions that is very much related in this present situation scenario. Question is, too much online classes in a day attending by students are not changes psychology to do physical activities during this period. This is a question visible in your screen. Dr. Shogotada.
Actually, the question is a little bit of, I think the questioner want to ask what the psychological impact of practically participating in online classes to the kids, maybe like that. Change the
Yes, yes, yes.
psychology to physical activity during this time.
Ah,
Yes, I
how
think
to
yeah,
remove
how to remove those things.
psychological
Okay.
stress by
Yes, yes.
doing physical activities.
I, I am telling you what the Bengal government educational policy has taken. I don't know, but the central government, they have reduced. Even all the private schools also, they have reduced their time. They have fixed some time. Previously, it was started from the early morning to the afternoon session, but now all those online classes has reduced their time volume. So let them participate there. Okay, let them participate, because you see, one thing is there: if 1 year we don't go the study and all, then we will not die. But we have to maintain this social distance and our health. That is very important thing. But as the educational institutes are continuing this learning process through online, we have to participate those things. And you set a positive mind that yes, this is the time volume, you have to set this. And as I have said, try to follow the 2020. But while you are in the class, you may not follow that 2020. That one means after your 20 minutes of participation, you have to take a break of 20 seconds. That may not always be possible, but you spread some water to your very means the drinking water, spread your eyes, then you take the gargle and all with the hot water. Those things will give you, energize you. And you are the, suppose this question you are doing, you are asking this question, you have the kid na, so you are the guide, so you yourself involve them in some activities, new type of creative type of activities in the within the home. Normally kids don't go with this Facebook and all other social medias. Okay, they are habituated to playing within with your father, with your grandfather, like this. Okay, so you go always with this exercise, and this is the right time to go with yogasana and all. Then on also you can reduce those things. And some exercise with of your eyes, you suppose you close your eye, you rotate your eyeball left and right, up and down. Okay, this type of hygiene you should have to maintain. And I think these things, we can overcome all those things. Okay, so main thing what I focus is, human body we cannot separate compartment at psychology or mental quality or physical. It is a whole, as a whole. So involvement of activity is very important. You make them understand that activity is needed. Just jump on the floor, you just jump, 10 jumps is required, then let him sweating. When he is exhausted, then he will sit for other things also. Okay, because the extra energy, we know that the surplus energy theory, that extra energy always there in within the child, so they should have to outlet those things. So go with those things. Story books, ঠাকুমার ঝুলি গল্প, you know, those Bengali very nice story books are there. You chant them, those things, Ramayana, Mahabharata, whatever you can tell the very good stories and convert them. So channelizing is very important. You have to take this pain, and always try to do all those things with a smiling face. Okay, is there any
Thank
question?
you. Thank you. It's time now. Now, vote of thanks. Vote of thanks given by Dr. Sajidul Islam, Assistant Professor, Department of Department of Commerce, Srikrishna College. Over to Sajidul Islam.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Imran Hossain.
Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good noon to all. It is my proud privilege to propose the vote of thanks for this event to all the dignitaries assembled over here. Myself, Dr. Sajidul Islam, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Srikrishna College, and I am the convener, co-convener of this program. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude thanks to our chief guest of this event, Mr. Anup Kumar Bhadro, President of Governing Body of Srikrishna College. Though Sir was not present in today's function due to his personal unavoidable circumstances, but overall, to conduct these type of programs in our college, we always got a great inspiration and presence from his end. So thank you so much, sir, for your great support. Now I would like to express my sincere thanks to our respected and beloved principal, sir, Dr. Sukhdev Ghosh. Sir, I feel always that we are so lucky as we have got the opportunity to work or to organize these type of programs under your guidance, under your captainship, under your leadership, and with your blessings. Thank you so much, sir, for your great support and trust on us. In today's program, we have three eminent speakers. So on behalf of principal sir and on behalf of organizing committee of this occasion, I am here to propose the vote of thanks to all the respected speakers. At first, I would like to express my humble, sincere thanks to Professor Dr. Madhav Chandra Ghosh sir for giving the opportunity to invite you. Sir is presently associated with the University of Pollani, Professor of Physical Education Department. Also, Sir Sir is the Dean of Student Welfare of this university. Sir, thank you so much for sharing your valuable knowledge with us in this occasion. Secondly, I would like to convey my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Saugata Sarkar sir, ADPE and Secretary Sports Board, Mizoram University. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation and delivering a lecture in this event. Thirdly, I would like to convey my gratitude thanks to Mr. Arnob Rai, Assistant Professor, Department of Food Technology, Mizoram University. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation and delivering a valuable speech in this occasion. Today's provoking lectures by our three eminent speakers was really an informative and enlightened us, which is also appreciated by all the participants who are present in the YouTube live chat. Then I would like to congratulate to the convener, Dr. Mohammad Imran Hossain, Assistant Professor, Department of Physical Education in this college, and the co-convener, that is myself, Dr. Sajidul Islam, and our another co-convener, Mr. Ashok Banerjee, State Aided College teacher of this college, to organize this program. And last but not the least, I would like to convey my sincere thanks to all the participants of this program who are present in the YouTube, in our college YouTube channel. Thank you so much to all for the grand success of today's program. Thank you once again to one and each. Thank you. Now I would like to request our convener, Dr. Imran Hossain, to conclude the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Sajidul, for giving vote of thanks. At last, I would like to thank patron our college, respected our principal, three eminent resource persons, and participants to make the webinar a grand success. I would also like to special thanks Dr. Saijul Islam, Assistant Professor of Commerce of our college, who have done a great job related to technical aspects for conducting the webinar successfully. I would also thanks to our faculty members who cooperate us and other faculty members of our college and our advisory committee, teaching staff, other non-teaching staff of our college, to make the webinar a grand success. Thank you everyone for attending and listening the webinar, and appreciation to us for thank you, and thank you all, everyone. I conclude the session right now. Thank you. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.